Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, the beginning of the end of the Tomorrowverse, a cinematic universe that started in 2020 with Superman Man Tomorrow, hence the name. Then you got Justice Society World War 2, then you got Batman The Long Halloween Part 1 and Part 2. Then you have Green Lantern Where My Power, then you have Legion of Superheroes, and then you got Justice League World, which was absolute snoo fest. I mean, the later half has been kind of a miss. But this is kind of a hit or miss universe, so you never know. You might like, hey, the next one I watch is actually going to be a good one. When they announced that, okay, we're going to do Crisis on Infinite Earths, we're going to wrap it up this universe with Crisis as the big finale. We all were like, you can't. People who have read the story, who know about the story of the comic book counterpart, people who know anything about the DC mythos, can literally say you can't do Crisis in 90 minutes. It took the CW to do five hours to do their version of Crisis Infinite Earths. It took them that. So you can't squeeze this big epic story that was meant to be literally like, people who don't know why Crisis on Infinite Earths is a big thing was because back in the day, they were like, oh, the multiverse. We can just easily say, oh, that Batman's different because of multiverse. That Superman's different because of multiverse. And it just became a little bit too confusing for the average reader. And they were like, okay, to get new readers involved and to get it a little bit more simple, let's just make it One Earth again. So we'll make this big giant story, basically explaining the reboot, because comic readers who are big fans of the big two, Marvel and DC, like the soap opera aspect of things, where it just never ends. And so they create this story called Crisis Infinite Earths, which was like, as the blurb says, worlds will live, worlds will die, and the DC universe will never be the same, which was the case. So, and it's a big 12-parter, and it's a very big, giant story, and a lot of deaths happen, and it's a lot of comic moments happen now throughout. And so, naturally, there's excitement, but also a little bit worrisome that they're going to rush through the story or just do a version of Crisis that's not that satisfying. So, everyone who knew about the story is like, okay, you need to make it a two-part at least. You need to at least make it a two-part. A two-part finale, 3 hours, good. Just nearly 3 hours, do it. They announced, actually, we're not going to do 2 parts, we're actually going to make it 3 parts. And when the moment I heard 3 parts, I was like, you know what? Probably the right decision, because once again, how big the story is. And you want to have everything that's meant to be in a story, that makes you care about a story, be there, than just Earth's getting melted by antimatter, and action sequences left, right, center, shower demons, and then, here comes the antimatter at the third act and all that, like just washing it through. You want big counter moments. You want big emotional moments. You want us to have stuff that mostly all the stuff that people have complained or have criticisms about these DC anime films, which is, they start having good emotional beats and good storytelling and good all that kind of stuff, but because of the runtime, they just feel like they need to wash it through, and nothing feels kind of earned at the end, or just too quick, or just not, And this time they can do that with a 3-parter. And me, who just finished watching the movie, I will say it was the right decision. It was absolutely the right decision to do it, because it's all about Flash. Like, Barry's the main character of this movie. But what you realize the main story is, because it's literally, this movie is kind of, oddly enough, knowing the story is getting split into three parts, that this movie is split into 2 parts. You got one part which is about forming the Justice League and the beginning of the Justice League and the first villain they fought, and what made them form the Justice League and all that kind of stuff. And then the second half is the multiverse is getting destroyed, and the Monitor is like grabbing every hero around out from the multiverse, every Earth from the multiverse, to basically say, your reality is going to be gone. Every one of your realities is going to be gone if you don't help. And the big finale is, at the end of the movie, is quite different. It's not a big bam boom punch out. It's brains. It's brains before brawns. It's scientists. It's the scientists of it is like the action's there. Like, there's a Mazo is a threat, and Lex Luthor is a threat in this movie, but it's not the main plot. It's not the main themes. The big emotional beat of it is his relationship with Iris, with Barry's relationship with Iris, and it's very beautiful done. It's very emotional hook, and you could tell that they really want you to be very invested with Barry, knowing if you know the comic book counterpart where it leads to. You got all these nice emotional beats with Barry and Iris. You see them as old age. You see them, and them as elderly, and them having this long life and able to live a long life, and you could tell how they're old, but they're still those characters. They're still, and they've changed, and maybe got a little bit bitter and got a little bit, jaded and all jaded and bitter and all those things that come around it. But you still Barry and Iris still Iris, and you can see their love that since the first day they met, and it's really well put together, and to the point when the finale does happen, because look, the concept of the multiverse getting destroyed, it's a hard grip to grab, because we don't know if the multiverse is real, and it's a high concept to think about and understand the stakes of it, because we can't. Having this the world, end of the world, we understand that stake, because everything that we know will be fractured, and the way they took it by having Barry as the main character of part one, and have him have those beats and have those emotions, and crime syndicate. I won't lie, the crime syndicate, because Barry is this what's it called, time skipping. He's jumping from forming of the Justice League, then his wedding, then to Earth 3, and then he's with this. And I thought there's sometimes I want to the criticism I have with part one is that sometimes it is a little bit where are we at? We're jumping a little bit too much here. Let's try to just stay on one Earth for at least 5 more minutes. That's the only big complaint. But the rest of it, I was I'm digging this. This is really well put together. The right level of humor. I mean, even characters who only have a couple of lines, you feel the pain or the history or the emotion now for it. There's something there with Huntress. It's just really well put. I mean, the crime syndicate. Barry goes to Earth 3, which is where they are. I would leave them out. I get you want to see the destruction. You want to see what the antimatter wave would do, and have seeing that nothing can fear it, nothing can punch it, nothing can do anything. So you introduce the crime syndicate just so they can get see the Earth getting destroyed. I get it, but it's just I feel like you could just easily just show that Earth getting destroyed, then having Flash going in there. I don't know. The crime syndicate parts, I was I would cut that stuff out if someone said, hey, here's all 3 parts, not knowing right now, what's in part 2 and what's in part 3. If someone said tried to make this maybe 4.5-hour movie into 2.5, I would probably cut the crime syndicate stuff, except that seeing the Earth getting destroyed. Except that's what I would do. But yeah, I mean, part 1, Nike, I like it. Boy, it was the right decision. comment below what you thought of Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1.